most ridiculous intro I have ever made, and you sat through it. But on a more serious note, guys, today's video is sponsored by KAKindustry.com. They sell virtually every component to build an AR, uppers, full lower parts kits. But what I like the most about KAKindustry.com is the fact that they stand up for our rights. Most recently, they teamed up with Gun Owners of America to protect us against the ATF's recent grab of our beloved braces. Guys, so support a good cause. Head over to KAKindustry.com and check them out. Who the hell do you think you are? How dare you think that you could buy or train with helmets or any type of tactical gear? Guys, I'm obviously kidding. My name is Alex from IronInfidel.com, where we sell fitness products and the best t-shirt designs available on the market. I really do believe that. Check out IronInfidel.com. And today we're talking all things helmets. But first, we got to address the elephant in the room. There's two camps in the firearms industry. The first camp says, if you're not military, you're not LE, you should not be buying or thinking about training with tactical gear. You're just LARPing. And then the other camp says, this is America. And in America, you can buy or spend your time and money on anything that you want. And I fall into the latter camp. So today we're going to be talking about why you, as a military member, law enforcement, or civilian, should consider buying a helmet. We have two ballistic helmets out here. I've got the U-Arm high-cut helmet and then a Cry airframe. Both of these are ballistic helmets, but let's talk about the why. There's two types of helmets out there. You have ballistic helmets, which obviously provide ballistic protection for your noggin, typically in the form of level 3A, which I believe by NRJ standards means it protects against up to 357 and 44 mag. I think. Fact check me on that, guys. And then there's bump helmets, which obviously do not provide any ballistic protection, but they protect against blunt force trauma. So you need to know why you're buying a helmet before you actually buy a helmet. If you're on a SWAT team, obviously you need ballistic protection. That goes without saying. Or if you're a guy who's just going to the range to train and you want a helmet and you're on a budget, a bump helmet is a totally viable option. And before anyone hits me with questions why you would train on the range with a helmet, what's the reason? Well, guys, helmets, the purpose behind them extends far beyond just protecting your noggin. You can attach comms to them. You can attach nods to them. You can attach hands-free lights to them. And all of those things are force multipliers. So I'm kind of just going to run over the couple helmets I have out here and explain some of the common things you'll see on a helmet. The Cry airframe. This is about $1,200, I believe. Pretty expensive. Obviously, Cry is very, very well known. For a more budget-friendly option, we have the U-Arm one here. $500 on their website. Both of these rated, as I stated before, against level 3A protection by NIJ standards. So what does that mean? One's $1,200, one's $500, and they're both rated the same. I have no idea. I'm not going to claim to be a ballistics expert. No clue. And I'm not going to take these out on the range and start putting rounds in them to test their capability because they are very, very expensive. I mean, I have several $1,000s here on the table worth of helmets, so I'm not going to do that. What I'm trying to say is it's your noggin, it's your head. You make that judgment call whether you want to go more budget friendly or if you want to fork out a lot more money for a more well-known brand. Most helmets come pretty standard. We'll kind of run through this. Up front, you're going to have the shroud. This holds nods. You can see on the Cry airframe, I have nothing in it, but this is what a shroud looks like. On the U-Arm, I've got the Wilcox G24. That's what holds nods. On the sides, you have polymer rails, OpsCore style. These are going to hold your comms or any type of hands-free white light you want to put on there, or IR light, things like that. And then on the inside, helmets come standard with pads. This is so old, I don't think these are the pads that were originally in it. I think these were switched out with maybe Team Wendy pads. And there's a suspension system right here with a boa closure on the back. The boa closure's on the U-Arm right here. Basically what happens is you put this around your head, you twist the little knob that's on the boa closure, and it tightens it around your head. But if your helmet is not comfortable with the standard pads it comes with, I recommend you go to teamwendy.com because they sell suspension systems and interior pads, a whole bunch of different kinds that you can kind of remove and fit it exactly how you want to. Okay, boring stuff over, guys. Let's talk about how I have my helmets set up and what the reasoning is behind why I set them up this way. There's three things a helmet is good for, obviously, aside from protection. One being the ability to attach comms. Two is the ability to attach nods or night vision. And then the ability to attach a hands-free light. On the Cry airframe, I've got an MLPS. This is by Princeton Tech, and it provides either IR or white light. I got this pretty much exclusively for the IR light capabilities. The way night vision works is it takes ambient light from outside and then amplifies it, and you can see through the tubes. But that's great for when you're outside and there's a lot of moonlight. Man, you can see perfectly. You can see clearly, like hundreds of yards. But when you're inside somewhere, let's say deep in a structure like a hospital or a school or something, there's no ambient light, no windows, it becomes very, very difficult to see even with night vision, and that is what these IR lights are great for. But you got to be careful with these things, because if you're working around a group of guys who also have night vision and you're pointing this straight ahead, you can end up blinding the guys who are wearing night vision. So what I would do whenever I was in a situation like that, I just take it, turn it up towards the ceiling. Now the light is going straight up into the ceiling. You're not blasting anyone in the face with light, but it's bouncing that light kind of like an umbrella effect, and illuminates the whole room. So it actually benefits everybody around you. Now, on top of both of these, I have a Mantis IR strobe. Guys, fun fact about cops or SWAT guys without a military background: we suck at any type of open terrain patrolling, especially at night. And especially when you're sweating, your nods start getting fogged up and you're trying to keep track of people in front of you. It becomes difficult. We're horrible at it. But that's what these IR strobes are great for. They allow you to see your buddies around you. But there is a negative to that. If your adversary is wearing night vision, you just became a glowing beacon. So you got to be careful with that type of stuff. Now, for comms, I know I said that the U-arm was a budget-friendly option, but go figure, I put the most expensive comms on the market on this helmet. I just threw it on there because I just got these in, so I wanted to put it on there for the video, and I'll probably use it. So these are the OpsCore amped comms. Guys, these are over $1,000 just pretty much for the comms themselves, if you don't get any of the added extra features that you can get with these things. But it is so important to be able to attach your comms directly to the rails, like I mentioned before, because if you're wearing your comms with something like this, attached to this, over top of your head, then your helmet on top of that, give it 1 hour, you're gonna have the worst headache of your life, so you gotta attach them straight to your helmet. What is unique about the OpsCore comms is the ability to rotate these things fully around and completely out of the way, which I'm not going to do right now. Actually, I'll just try and throw it on right now, and I'm gonna fail because I just got these and it's a little finicky to try and get on. So let's throw this thing on. All right, helmet's on. These come down. I'll struggle. Rotate this thing, get it nice in place. All right, there we go. Now, comms are good for three things. Obviously, they provide you the ability to communicate with everybody that's wearing comms. That goes without saying how important that is. But they also provide you with the ability to noise cancellation. So anything of a certain decimal, it doesn't pick up, like gunshots, flashbangs, things like that. But it also amplifies things that don't reach a certain decimal. So I can actually hear significantly better while I'm wearing these. I can hear perfectly right now, things I couldn't hear otherwise, because I am pretty much deaf after all the flashbangs I've sat through. But that's what these comms are great for. Now, what's unique about the amp setup is the ability to rotate these things around and out of the way, and I'm going to fail right now trying to do it. Rotate them up and all the way around, and then you can store them up here, up top, like that. Over $1,000 for these. Whew, that is expensive. Now up front, I have a Wilcox G24 mount for night vision. These things are expensive. This is over 500 bucks, I believe, just for this little piece of metal right here. But mounts are important. That way you can adjust your night vision exactly where you want it to be. You can get that eye cup exactly where you want it, and your night vision isn't wobbling all over the place. So it's important to get a good mount, and the G24 is great. Why should civilians train with night vision, you ask? Why the hell not? Like I said before, this is America, and you should. If you have the budget for it, by all means, go for it. But getting into night vision is very, very expensive. Just a PVS 14, your standard monotube, runs you somewhere between 1,500 bucks and 2,500 bucks just for that. And it can go up from there depending on whether you're getting white phosphor or not. Throw that on top of the helmet, which is 500 bucks up to 1,500 bucks. Comms, which can be a few hundred bucks, all the way up to 1,000 bucks, 500 bucks for your mount. All of that starts to add up, and it becomes multiple thousands of dollars. And that's just for a PVS 14. Moving up from there, if you want dual tubes, the next best option for a budget is buying two PVS 14s and attaching them by a bridge mount. It's not ideal. It's not as good as a dedicated dual tube, but it is the most budget friendly. It does weigh significantly more. And then the price just goes up, almost skyrockets from there if you're wanting like a PVS 31 or something, several $1,000s. If you are getting comms, dual tubes up front, especially two 14s bridged together, something you want to take into consideration is putting a weight on the back of your helmet, because all of that weight tugging down on the front of your head for hours at a time can be very cumbersome. Guys, that pretty much covers it. I was kind of just rambling on this video, and you probably didn't learn very much. Hopefully you did. If you did, let me know in the comments below. But before we go, I have one public service announcement for everybody. Do not just blindly trust me. There are plenty of things that I don't know. There's plenty of things that I'm still learning about, and I have just one guy's experiences. In fact, don't just blindly trust anybody that you see online. What you should do is seek out information from multiple sources. And generally, if you do that, you're going to have a more well-rounded perspective on whatever topic that you're trying to learn about. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button as well as that like button. I always fumble the subscribe word. I can never tip of the tongue, top of the lips. I'll see you guys in the next one.